Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty big and honestly kind of bad news when it comes to big delays, some industry things actually getting completely destroyed, some other industry side type news, and as well just some big events that actually might be moved and also postponed and also might be canceled as well. We have a lot of kind of bad news to go and cover throughout today. Now, as we keep on saying, the kind of gaming news has been a little bit more on the lighter side, but this is actually kind of big, I think, changes for the future, and as well, kind of big for some of the bigger games out there, especially for some folks, and especially one of the biggest gaming companies on the planet. And as well, so it all kind of comes down to PlayStation, Xbox games where things are not going well. So we're going to go talk about this, talk about the news, talk about everything in between. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have all the nice little Amazon links where the consoles are all on sale right now. I actually know a lot of you guys actually have picked up your PlayStation consoles, linked down below. And of course, like I said, the Twitter and Twitch stream, and subscribe. Let's dive into the news. So first and foremost, let's go talk about some actually really kind of big delays, and as well, this kind of goes into a part 1 to a part 2. We're actually now seeing huge cancellations and as well, also huge delays. So first and foremost, if you guys have not been keeping up with the general broad news, Ubisoft, not doing so hot. They've had their stock market go and just get absolutely decimated. Revenues are down. Game sales are down. The game reviews for the games that have actually come out are going down. And as well, just a lot of games are being delayed. A lot of games are being canceled. And there also hasn't really been a big Assassin's Creed game, which as of right now is like the biggest Ubisoft game that I'm sure a lot of you guys know about. And with this, we are now seeing information coming out that Assassin's Creed Mirage has now been delayed until 2022. So as of right now, that's a whole another entire rest of this year will not be coming out, as data miners are now finding information and discussing all this stuff. On Twitter, a data miner actually has now stepped out with the claim that Assassin's Creed Mirage and also The Crew, which is another really big game as well, I probably say The Crew's up there too in terms of racing, Project Orlando, is likely now to be delayed and both pushed back to 2024. There's also mention in the tweet that Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was expected to be returned to the form of like the OG original game, like the game that everyone loved, like the first like 3 Assassin's Creed games with Ezio and everything out there, has apparently also now been pushed back even more. And a lot of folks were getting excited for that, mainly because the last few Assassin's Creed games were good sellers and did well, but they weren't really that good. Like a lot of people are just like, we just want the old game. It's getting a little bit too convoluted. We don't want to play a 300-hour game like Persona 5. We want to go and enjoy it. And as well, they're also saying it runs on the old Assassin's Creed engine. Insider gaming sources understand that Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay will actually, though, be revealed at this year's E3 event, which we're going to talk about in a minute or so, but it's not known at what depth will be revealed. And as well, if it's the delay is bigger, and they also have an open-ended delay, that's never a good sign. So basically, they're saying Assassin's Creed Mirage delayed and still is a Mirage. On Twitter, user Script Leaks R6 that both Mirage and The Crew 3, otherwise known as Project Orlando, are likely delayed. This comes as a relatively huge blow to the Assassin's Creed community, especially as Mirage is penned to be a return to the traditional formula that people have been looking for, myself included. So we haven't really had a chance to see too much of the gameplay. We saw some of the teasers for it not too long ago, and in September 2022, Ubisoft pushed out the world premiere of the game, but since then, everything else with Ubisoft has been very quiet and not going so well. So Ubisoft's been going bad. They postponed Skull and Bones. They've canceled a lot of really big name projects. A lot of financial funding's going rough. They had to go and cut some studios. They had to go do like corporate restructuring and basically close out other smaller like basically community things and put, like funnel them all together. And everything with Ubisoft is going really, really poorly. This also is going to affect other things like PlayStation or Xbox, because if these games get delayed and they're being pushed and they're just not being made, and this is one of the biggest gaming companies and publishers out there, that is not a good sign. So they also did report that some of the rumors were on August 2023. They were coming out then, but it does seem as of right now, it does seem like it's going to be pushed even farther, and it does seem like 2024 does seem way more likely. So it's weird. They were actually going to go and apparently go make this the DLC for the prior Assassin's Creed game that just came out, like Valhalla. And, well, apparently it's just going to be its own standalone game, and people are just all over the place, too, as well. We also have been hearing some of these other things that some folks are still stating, that the actual story may be kind of like, just maybe kind of fluency, or it's kind of up in the air right now. So we'll have a chance to go and see these next few months if they can actually go and fine-tune the release window. Because it does actually go back to over here, where Ubisoft is actually now not even going to E3, which is probably where this rumor is coming from. It might be delayed, or might have some other issues, because with E3 actually might just be canceled. And it's kind of been like on, off, I think, for the past 3 years or so. But as of right now, there is basically no big major gaming company that is attending E3. There is not a company, like I think Sony's gone. I think Xbox is gone. I think Nintendo's gone. And even Ubisoft, which is big and would actually pull some big titles and big names and big showcases as well, is currently not hosting its own event. The company says it's decided to move in a different direction, and I think I keep on always saying this. These big companies realize that they do not need things like E3 to host. They're going to watch the conference either way. It's going to end up on Twitter or on YouTube videos like people like me discussing these delays or changes or announcements, or as well on TikTok, gaming news articles or whatever, or even just going on Twitch and YouTube. You're going to get the views regardless. They care about the games, they care about the releases, they care about the release dates. They don't really care about E3. Maybe some folks in the industry just have like a nice special fondness in their heart for it, or as well some people do like to go to these conventions and hang out and chill and party, but at the same time it's a little weird. So the company says it's decided to move in with a different direction. Ubisoft is now confirmed not going to this year's E3 event as of now. So last month, the Assassin's Creed publisher became the first major company to publicly commit to attending the revamped E3. So this is actually them kind of backtracking after they said they would go, which is due to take place in June at its traditional venue of the Los Angeles Convention Center. However, in a statement issued to VGC, the company said it has now decided to move in a different direction and instead will be hosting its own Ubisoft Forward live event on June 12th instead. So they're still doing something. They're still releasing something. And we'll probably get a lot more details on like Just Dance, Assassin's Creed, all these racing games, and a lot of these other kind of filler games too that Ubisoft might be working on as well. E3 has fostered unforgettable movements across the industry throughout the years, a spokesperson told VGC. While we initially intended to have an official E3 presence, we've made the subsequent decision to move into a different direction, and we'll be holding a Ubisoft Forward live event on 12th of the June of Los Angeles. That was like really weird wording, my apologies. We look forward to sharing more details with our players very soon. So they haven't had a chance to really kind of communicate with this Assassin's Creed delay, with all these other big hosting delays, some of these big cancels going on with these events. But right now I can guarantee you guys that E3 is hurting. They don't have a lot of funding. They don't have, like, it's been 3 years in a row where they've just been bleeding money. People are getting excited and they get canceled. And after that, a lot of time, people kind of just give up after a while. And, well, it's just intriguing. So under this revamped format, the first 2 days of E3 for June 13th and 14th, which once again is even more hurtful that the fact that they're doing this event literally the day before E3 happens, that is an oof and a half right there. Yeah, this can be a little bit rough. So it's going to basically just be business the first few days, and then the remaining days will also include consumer visitors. That's like for anyone like the press, people on like Twitch or YouTube folks or whatever want to show up. So however, Ubisoft's decision to step away from E3's 2023 means that with 3 months to go, no major company has been announced as officially being attending as of right this second. It's rough. It's weird. I think a lot of folks are not happy with this one too as well. It's nuts. It's nuts. So anyway, we've also been seeing some other various things too as well in the gaming news sphere. Number one is that the Resident Evil remake, which I actually haven't played up on Twitch. If you guys are bored and want to hang out there, you guys can, is actually the 8th biggest launch in terms of physical sales, which is actually a bit smaller, but don't forget physical sales do sometimes disclude out the digital. I'm sure a lot more people, myself included, did it on the digital side. This actually was ahead of the original Resident Evil 4 on GameCube, but behind Resident Evil Village, which hit number 6, Resident Evil 2 Remake at number 4, but it did go beat Resident Evil 3 Remake, and I'd probably stand by that. I think a lot more folks liked Resident Evil 2 and the remakes and the mods more than they did Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 was kind of short. So far, I've only had a chance to go play maybe around 3 hours or so of Resident Evil 4. I've liked it. It's been good. It's not the best, not the worst. I have no issues with that one too as well. So, like I said, when it comes to UK, slightly different region. When it comes to digital sales, might be lower. I've been seeing a lot of folks checking it out on Twitch. I'm kind of been indifferent. I don't think everyone really likes it so much, but I haven't been against it so far. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments if you guys have had a chance to go and see it as well. And also want to remind you guys too, on top of that, some of the bigger things too is that we have been seeing a lot of these other big kind of gaming news, such as from Ubisoft, being canceled. Some things too as well with Far Cry. We've had some like kind of iffy news for that. We've also had a lot of other news for their brand new game engines. We've had a lot of folks just being curious on the Uplay Plus numbers, kind of like their own Game Pass side. We're also kind of curious too if there is any underground deals with Xbox Game Pass and Ubisoft. I do not think there will be a buyout. I don't think the government regulatory bodies would allow it, especially based on the streaming, but I do think partnerships in business, strategic partnerships can still happen. So we have to go and see how that kind of goes. And as well, Don't forget, they also do have some of the remakes, I believe, that are also in the works too for Assassin's Creed. And I don't know, at this point, I just think E3 is not looking so good. I think Ubisoft, depending on what they pull out for this announcement, and all these upcoming games may also not be looking good. Gaming as a whole has not been looking good, and just everything is a little bit more on the scarier side. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments on all the stuff out there because, well, it's rough. I think the gaming industry right now is definitely taking a beating. There hasn't been any big major games coming out. We're still waiting to see more next steps from like Nintendo and all these other big game companies, which we've been watching pretty carefully. But it's just been weird. It's been weird for gaming as a whole all around. So give me your thoughts. It's been a weird time. If you guys are excited or sad about the delays, let me know. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. The Twitter and Twitch stream down below. We have all the Amazon links for all the consoles up on sale and everything else all in between. So I appreciate you all so much for existing. I'll see you guys up in the next one.